Wholesalers. When your seller breaches your contract and you want to file an affidavit of equitable interest or a memorandum of contract, I'm going to break down exactly what it takes to prepare it and file it. What up? My name's KB. I've been closing deals for over 20 years. Let's get into it. What is an affidavit of equitable interest or a memorandum of contract? They are one and the same-ish. It is my opinion that the affidavit of equitable interest is a stronger document, meaning that it holds more value and weight with attorneys and title companies. The memorandum and the affidavit, or memo and affidavit, if we can just shorten them from here on out, do the same function. They effectively cloud the title of the property that you are under contract with, putting people on notice that you had a contractual interest in purchasing the property. If the seller breaches and you need to enforce your position because you intend to purchase the property, or you had a buyer lined up and you were ready to assign it and they breached the contract, well, you need a way to protect your interest, and clouding the title is a way to ensure that the transaction comes to a halt without you being in the center of it. The document has to be prepared, notarized, and recorded with the county if the county allows them, and I'm here to tell you not every county will allow them in today's market. First, let's talk about memo versus affidavit. I always, in my contract, have it with the option to file the affidavit of equitable interest, so that's the document that I have prepared here. Let's take a look at it. So as you can see, titled Affidavit of Equitable Interest in Real Property. The agreement is between myself as the buyer and the seller. So in this case, we have to fill in the seller's name, Joe Smith. And I have my mailing address that's on my LLC, Joe Smith as the seller, and then the date that the contract was executed. So we'll go ahead and update this. We'll say we executed the contract on 4th day, so I don't have to do the I can spell February. I'm also blind. February, in which the buyer agreed to sell the property and the seller agreed to sell the property. We're situated in the county of Maricopa. We're going to use that for ease and access. And Maricopa is located in Arizona. Now, it says as described as property. You have to describe the property. It is not a property address. When you are recording documents, you have to use the legal description because that's the thing that secures documents to the property. So you have to know the legal description, you have to know the parcel number, you have to know the full mailing address, and you have to have the reference of instrument to which the seller was the owner of the property, meaning the last recorded deed, warranty deed, quitclaim deed, whatever deed they used to come into ownership of the property, that actually does need to be referenced on your document. So there are 3 things that you're going to have to go find that you're not going to be able to find on PropStream. I'll just give that information and that tidbit to you right now. This data is not available there. What you will find on PropStream is a legal description noted, and that is called an abbreviated legal description. That does not get the job done. You're gonna have to go get the full legal description. Now, the way that I do it is the easiest document point of reference to gather all of this information is to pull the last deed of record. Well, where do you find that? There's a couple of ways and a couple of tools you can use. Some of it in some counties and markets is going to cost you. Some of it it's going to be free. This is where filing an affidavit gets complicated. It is not as easy as it seems when a guru or somebody on social media tells you slap a memo on it. It's not that easy, buddy. It's not that easy. It's time consuming and it takes some effort and some knowledge. My preference is to always go for the deed. I think that gives you all of the points of information that you need in order to fill out the rest of your affidavit. So where do we go? Well, we'll use this property for an example. We're gonna go to Google. We're gonna type in the Maricopa County Recorder. We're gonna come down here to the document search. We're gonna open a document search tab. Okay, and it's going to give us the option to search, by recorded document number, by the docket in the book and page, and by the names. Let's face it, you're not going to usually have the recording number or the docket and page, so the easiest thing is to search by the name. It gives you the option to search by an entity or a trust or an individual name. So we'll use my name, for example, here, and we'll just pull up an old property. I no longer own this property, so I don't want to get any fucking marketing calls that people are I'm trying to sell a house. I'm not interested. I don't live here anymore. We'll hit search. And we'll come up here. So I know that I bought this house in 2016, so I can see my deed is right here. I'm gonna go ahead and click on that. And then up here, I have the option to preview, so I don't have to pay for it. And we're gonna go PDF all pages, and the deed will open right up. In theory. Sometimes it takes a minute. Now, in some counties, you'll be able to see part of this without having to pay for it, like I just showed you here, how all of the recording information is blacked out, which isn't going to work for us. Some you will have to pay for these deeds. Some counties actually use like a collective website tool, and you have to pay like an annual subscription or a monthly subscription or a day-by-day subscription to access. And in those cases, when I used to do a lot of these affidavits, I would just pay for the day, search for all the properties that I needed, print out all of the documents, and then I would go about my business doing them. This is where things get complicated. It's not always as easy as Maricopa County makes it, where the information is easily accessible. So I will warn you, some of the trickier markets and some of the non-disclosures are going to become difficult to gather the information that you need in order to effectively prepare and draft the affidavit. So what I do see here is that it does give me the legal description, which I need here. And typically what I would do is I would take a screenshot of this, but because I'm on my computer, I can actually just copy this, and then I can come over here to my affidavit, and I'm gonna drop this legal description right there. Now, pro tip, if you have a long legal description, anything more than about 2 sentences, you're gonna wanna type here, instead of putting the legal description here, you would wanna write, and I'll show you what I would write. I would do see attached Exhibit A. Okay, and that's just because the legal description is probably meets and bounds, or it's a really long description, and you have to fit this affidavit within certain margins in order for the county to accept it for recording. So you want to make sure that you give it all of the correct space that it needs. So just put the legal description, on a separate page and scan both documents in at the same time, front and back, to record. Do not do this on a front to back copies. They need to be individual pages, but they all go into your recording platform as one document. Okay, so moving right along, because this one I have a short legal description, we'll put it back. And oopsies, I got a little crazy there. Let's fix that. Back again. Guess who's back again? It's not like an Eminem song or something like that. Okay, any hoozles. And then the property address, this address was 3611 South Winter Lane. I also need to spell correctly, Kirsten. Winter Lane, Gilbert, AZ. I don't remember what the zip code was, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so now we're gonna go back to that document viewer, and we'll go back to this first page where I would have been looking for that document instrument number, the recording number of the deed, and it's blacked out here because they want you to buy the deed, but I'm smarter than that, and I know that if I just go to second page, up here at the top is, looky there, the recording number. And I can't copy it, so I'm gonna have to remember 2016-0738. 2016-0738. 329. Oh, look, it's right there. If I would have been paying attention, you ding dong. 8329. Okay, and then we need the parcel number. That's the parcel number that goes along with the property. So sometimes they're on the deeds, or they are on the affidavit of property value, which is specific to Arizona. There's a document that you have to attach to it. So you can do it one of two ways. I could go back here and here, look, there's that affidavit, and I could look at it here and I could get the parcel number from this document, and that's right here, 314. 314-01490. 01-490. Now, tip, if there are dashes, if there are periods, you gotta put them in. The county will kick it back and say that they don't recognize the parcel number. This is like a legal property identification number. Do it as it's printed, exactly as it's printed. If you were not so lucky to have the parcel number listed on the warranty deed, or you weren't, had a handy dandy affidavit of property value, you would have to use your brain and you would go to the assessor or the tax treasurer and you would look up the parcel number, or I think sometimes on PropStream they actually do have the parcel number listed. So what I did is I went to Maricopa Assessor, I went to the parcel viewer, and I, as soon as it loads, know that I can put in the street address in their little toolbar after I say, yes, I accept. And right here, I can go 3611 South Winter Lane. And over here in this featured information, if you hit zoom to, you can get the property details. So you click on it here, and over here in theory should have loaded the data. What's going on? Okay, fine, there we go. Okay, and then right here, boom, here's my legal description, or my parcel number, excuse me, that I copied into there. So couple of ways: PropStream, parcel viewers, tax treasurers for the tax bill, they'll all have the parcel noted if the warranty deed didn't have it in the legal description or in an attached document such as an affidavit of property value or a sales disclosure like some of the other states have. All right, so now we can go back to our master and we have everything that we need, but we just need to remember to spell things correctly. So we just want to do a check really quick that we have the right information. We have me as the buyer with Arizona spelled incorrectly. That's awesome, Kirsten. Good job. We're winning. We've got my business mailing address. We've got the seller's name, the date that he executed a contract with me. We've got the county, the state, the legal description, the instrument number, the property address that we're clouding, and the parcel number that goes along with it. Okay, then you have to sign it. Make sure you have your correct entity information. If you don't know how to fill out a contract, or this would be the same, check out my YouTube video on how to fill out a contract when it's an LLC, and I'll give you the tips on how to set up your signature blocks. And then before you print this out for it to be notarized, you just want to make sure that your notary block is also correct. So here we've got this as a blank. That's where my name will be printed, and the business name here, I would type in I Buy Homes LLC. And then sometimes because this is a template for me, you got to make sure that you're in the correct month. So we're in February. I know I'm going to get it notarized in February, so I just want to make sure that it says February. We'll fill in the date. The notary will fill in all of this block down here. And then lastly, you just need to have a prepared by and a when recorded, where does it go. Even though it's all electronic and you're not actually going to mail it, you still have to put the information in there. And bada bing, bada boom, you have an affidavit of equitable interest prepared and ready to be executed. And then you got to record it. As I said, I am a big fan of the affidavit of equitable interest. I don't use a memorandum of contract. I will tell you though that the memorandum of contract templates that I have seen and that I have, they are not set up in the exact same format, and you don't necessarily need to have the instrument number notated on them. All of the other information, yes, and you must have the legal description, but you would just fill it out in accordance with whatever document that you are actually using, unless you have my template, which should be available for purchase to you. If you're doing deals in the wholesale space, I provide white glove TC services so that I can hold your seller's hands while you continue to lock up more deals. Click the link in the description box below to book your free one-on-one call for me. And if you liked this content, subscribe, like, and follow for more. See you on the next one. Love you, mean it.